Stepping up to the couch, it's Brian, who led the league last season in cracked screens. But with his new athletic case, it looks like that won't be the case. Touchdown, Brian!
As of the recording of this video, the Warriors and Rockets series is tied 2-2, and Game 5 is in 20 minutes, so I need to hurry this shit up. Rockets versus Warriors is happening for the second year in a row, and it's been a great series, just like last year, but what I think most people expect is that the Golden State Warriors will win, just like last year. Now, last year had the Rockets not gone 0 for 27 from 3, maybe that wouldn't be the case, but that's besides the point. Also, little tip, Houston. If you're going to complain about the officiating in Game 7 of the 2018 Western Conference Finals, maybe make those complaints the day of Game 7 of the 2018 Western Conference Finals, not a year later. I mean, normally doing that would make you look like a whiny little bitch, but doing it a year later makes you look like a mega whiny little bitch. So maybe don't do that. Anyways, the expectation of the Warriors to win, which is really a nice way of looking at it. In reality, it's more of an inevitability. The expectation of the Warriors to win it all is why the last couple of postseasons have felt kind of dry. As exciting as individual series can get, when you know what the end result of the whole thing will be, it puts a cap on your excitement. And as we all know, the inevitability of the Golden State Warriors is because of Kevin Durant. As we also all know, there's a very real possibility, and some including me would say it's a likely possibility, that Kevin Durant will leave the Warriors this offseason. So I wanted to do some speculation on what the league would look like next year without Kevin Durant on the Golden State Warriors, and talk about why that would be great for the NBA.
Rebound! Save! Absolutely incredibly with the acrobatic alley-oop!
So first, I actually want to talk about some of the teams that Kevin Durant could actually go to and how that affects the league as a whole. I'm gonna narrow it down to 3 teams for the sake of time. Also because there are really only 2 teams that most people think he will go to, and there is one team that has gone under the radar that I think needs mentioning. The 2 main teams are the Knicks and Clippers, but the underdog option I have are the Brooklyn Nets. We will get to them in a minute. For the Knicks, if Kyrie ain't there, KD ain't there, period. Because this roster, well, it sucks. Besides for Mitchell Robinson and maybe Kevin Knox, who I was very wrong about, there's not much young talent to be excited about. But I think the New York Knicks being a good team is good for the league as a whole, so that'd be cool. For the Clippers, I mean, if he went there, at least some team in LA would be good. But seriously, I love this team. Lou Will, 6-man or not, is a star player. Danilo Gallinari just had the best year of his career and is borderline a star player. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Landry Shamet are a great young backcourt. Montrezl Harrell is great. Everything about this roster is great. And the Clippers have the money to bring in another guy alongside Durant. As for the Brooklyn Nets, I don't know if it's D'Angelo Russell that they bring back or if it's another star like maybe Jimmy Butler or Kyrie, but they have the money to put another star player alongside Kevin Durant. The talent overall in Brooklyn isn't any better than the Clippers, but the culture there is amazing. Not that it isn't amazing in LA, but it is in the Eastern Conference, so that's always a plus. Now, as for the Nets and Knicks, that would mean we have a championship contender in New York, which we haven't had in a very long time. And it adds another contender to the Eastern Conference, assuming Kawhi Leonard doesn't leave the Raptors, which would add yet another contender to the top-heavy Eastern Conference, which might make it harder for the Bulls to make the playoffs next year, so maybe I don't want that. And out west, I mean, I said it jokingly, but a team in LA being good, I think is good for the league. Maybe LeBron and the Lakers can figure it out, but at this point, I'm doubtful. Now, the most important impact that Kevin Durant would have in terms of individual teams would be the Golden State Warriors. One of the biggest things that I miss in the NBA was that 2016 Warriors team. That was truly one of the most fun teams in NBA history to watch because you recognize the talent of the roster. It was an incredibly fun team to watch, but you don't feel like, wow, that is unbeatable. And I know I'm saying that about a team that won 73 games, but nothing about that team seemed like it would be impossible to beat them, even though they were the heavy favorites. And obviously they were, because we all know what happened. Oh, blocked by James, and then a bunch of shitty 3-1 memes came out, and then Kevin Durant joined the team and the league sucked. But the 2016 team was great. MVP Stephen Curry, when he didn't have to share the ball with Kevin Durant, averaged 30 motherfucking points per game on 50, 45, and 91 motherfucking shooting splits. The dude shot 45% from 3 on 11 attempts per game, taking some of the most ridiculous 3-point attempts we've ever seen. Do you understand how ridiculous that is? A 6'3" player shot 50% from the field, averaging 30 points per game. It was absurd, and I want it back desperately. KD leaving the Warriors would hopefully bring back at least 80% of what MVP Stephen Curry was, and I would really love to see that. With KD, especially in this year's playoffs so far, and it's not Kevin Durant's fault, Curry has just sucked. With KD, Steph has to defer to Durant really often. He didn't really have to defer to Klay Thompson. Klay gets most of his shots within the flow of the offense. KD, you really have to feed the ball to. Curry's shots per game haven't gone down that much, and he's still recognized as a top 5 and to most people top 3 player in the league, but he doesn't feel like MVP Steph anymore. He just feels like the secondary superstar option, which sucks ass. Now, I want to talk about parity, and this section is going to be short because, well, we all know this shit, and I've said that 10 times because we all know this shit. But parity has been a topic of discussion that has really been brought up since Kevin Durant has joined the Warriors. As the intro stated, the league would be so much more fun if Kevin Durant was not on the Golden State Warriors. Think about this. The playoff race in the East has been amazing. We have one great second round matchup and one not so great one. Yikes, Kyrie. So we would have 3 teams in the East that have a legit chance at a title. And out West, if Durant wasn't a Warrior, we would have the Rockets, the Warriors without KD, the OKC Thunder with KD, and that includes Paul George because there's no reason to believe that they don't get him. They had both of the assets that they traded for Paul George on the roster in the offseason that Durant left, so they could have made that big 3 happen. The Nuggets at this point honestly feel like they could be legit contenders, and the Blazers, who look more legit than ever. There could really be 3 to 4 teams that have a chance to make the finals in each conference. Next year, if the rosters are relatively the same and you add whatever team Durant goes to, we could have 4 to 5 in each conference. There is also the Pacers with a healthy Oladipo in the East. The league would probably have more parity than it has ever had if Kevin Durant was not on the Golden State Warriors. I cannot think of a time in the league's history where there was legitimately nearly 1/3 of the league that had championship aspirations that could actually be accomplished. Sure, there would be favorites like that Big 3 Thunder team or still the Golden State Warriors, the Milwaukee Bucks, but it wouldn't be surprising if a team like the Blazers or the Indiana Pacers ended up having an amazing playoff run and made their way to the NBA Finals. It would be surprising, but it wouldn't seem impossible. So in conclusion, Kevin Durant leaving could very likely mean another contender in a big market in the NBA, like the New York Knicks or the LA Clippers, because I think we can all agree, fuck small markets, right? But seriously, I don't have an explanation for it. I just know that some of the better years in NBA NBA history involved the Knicks or Lakers being good. In this case, it would be the Clippers because his ass is not going to the Lakers. And it would also mean that we could very well see MVP form Stephen Curry back. One of the most fun players in NBA history would be back at full form. And finally, we would see unprecedented levels of parity in the league, which would make the NBA playoffs incredibly fun to watch. Now, that's the end of this video, but I want to quickly promote my Goatmentary series. If you didn't know, that is a 4-part documentary, and there's also a full version available that will be linked in the description below, and there will be a little card thing or whatever the fuck those are called. It's a documentary that I spent over a year working on. It's over 2.5 hours long. It's about the greatest of all time debate. I spent a lot of time on it. The views are kind of all right, but for the time I put in it, I would like it to be a bit more. So if you could please go check that out, I would really appreciate it. That is the end of this video. Please be sure to like and subscribe for more NBA content like this, and cue the outro music.